everybody, my name is Michelle and it is time for some summer book recommendations. Summer is truly and well upon us, at least where I live. If you live in like Australia, then it's not the case, but in a lot of parts of the world it is summer now. And here in the Netherlands we've definitely had some very sunny and warm days already, which is really nice and it really makes me feel like reading. I love reading during the summer and I also have a very specific taste in books during the summer, so that is why I thought it would be fun to do a summer book recommendation video. Of course, you can still read whatever you want during the summer. If you want to read books about snowstorms and blizzards at the height of summer, you do you. Of course, this is very personal. But for now, I have chosen some books that I would very much like to recommend to read during the summer because I feel like they very much hit that summer atmosphere. So without further ado, I am just going to start and give you some summer book recommendations. The first book on this list is a new release and it is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book takes place in the 1980s in Malibu, surprisingly. It also takes place over the span of 24 hours and it's about a girl named Nina Riva who is a professional surfer and a supermodel. She and her younger siblings are organizing the famous yearly Riva party at Nina's house. But what they don't know yet, but what you do know as a reader, is that at the end of the evening the house will go up in flames. And to understand what happened, we follow these characters during the span of 24 hours to see where it all ends. This book is just made for summer. It is the ultimate summer beach read, mostly because of its setting, because this book takes place in Malibu at the beach. The main characters are surfing, it is warm, there is sand, there are tropical drinks and things like that. The entire atmosphere just screams summer and summer fun and parties and everything that you want from, you know, your ideal summer vacation. Taylor Jenkins Reid is always very good at that, at writing these atmospheres and these settings, and with this book I was reading it and I immediately wished that I was on the beach as well with a drink in my hand. And apart from that, apart from the setting, it is also a very interesting story. The characters are very interesting as always. Taylor Jenkins Reid has never written dull characters before, I think. She's an amazing writer and one of my favorite authors. I will admit that Malibu Rising is not replacing The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo for me, because that will always be my favorite. But what Malibu Rising does have is this amazing summer atmosphere. Trust me, if you are at a sunny place, you want to read this book during the summer because it is just so perfect for it. And that is why it had to be in this video. It's the ultimate summer read. If you want to pick something up, I can highly recommend Malibu Rising. The next book on this list is Between Sisters by Kristen Hanna. This book tells the story of estranged sisters Megan and Claire who lead very different lives. Megan lives in New York City and she's a very expensive lawyer, but she's also very lonely. She doesn't have a relationship, she doesn't have any family. And then her younger sister Claire lives a much more down-to-earth life with her daughter, and then she meets this man and she instantly knows that this is the love of her life. And the event of Claire's wedding means that the two estranged sisters are yet again reuniting. So this book, why I think it is very good during the summer, is because it's such an easygoing story, if that makes sense. I don't mean that it's lighthearted, because that's definitely not the case. I mean that it's very entertaining, but just it is definitely more of a feeling that is kind of hard to describe. And I want to add that it's not just Between Sisters. I feel like Kristen Hanna has many of those books that are sort of like this. They include family relationships, they include fights, they include romantic relationships and people being estranged from each other and people going different ways. It just has all of those very, I don't know, interesting dynamics and things that are happening. What I liked about Between Sisters is that it's a very easy book to read, like you fly through it so quickly. Kristen Hanna definitely has that type of writing style where you just want to keep on reading, which I think is definitely something that I like to do during summer. And apart from that, I will admit, the story, as you can probably tell from the premise, it is not extremely original. Like, this story is very much cliche in a lot of ways, but somehow the characters are still interesting even though they're not the most, I don't know, dynamic or whatever. But Kristen Hanna has a way of writing these contemporaries that you're just sucked into it and you're having such a good time reading the book. And again, other books by Kristen Hanna have this quality as well. You have Night Road and Firefly Lane, and they're all sort of this same type of book that for me is the perfect type of book to read during the summer. My next recommendation is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This book tells the story of a woman named Eleanor Oliphant, and Eleanor is very particular and very set in her ways. She always says that she is completely fine, she has her routines, but at the same time Eleanor is also quite lonely. This all changes when she has a new co-worker named Raymond, and she and Raymond somehow happen upon an old man who is struggling, and they form this connection together, and then Eleanor's life starts to change a bit. If you know me a little bit, then you've probably heard me talking about Eleanor Oliphant before, because this is one of my favorite books. I love it so much. And the reason why it is a summer book recommendation, I think, is mostly because I read it during the summer and I really enjoyed it. So this is one of those books that is just very much connected to summer for me, and yeah, that's why I also want to recommend it as a summer read to you guys. It is a wonderful story. What I especially love is that you don't have all the facts at the beginning, and the story slowly unfolds. And at the beginning you might think that Eleanor is weird and probably a bit annoying, but once you get to know her better and you get to know more, she really warms up to you and you start to care for her and you want the best things in life for her. And I think that is such a masterful way of telling a story when a character does that to you. Like, it really grows on you and you go on this adventure with her together. I think this book is the perfect combination of interesting characters, exciting plot, beautiful moments. And I know I've talked about it many times before, but still, I just cannot recommend it enough because Eleanor Oliphant it's beautiful. I love it and it will always be one of my favorites. Then next up, I don't know about you, but I really love to read thrillers during the summer, and therefore I would love to recommend The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. It tells the story of two sisters named Charlotte and Samantha, and when they are children, their family goes through this horrible event which leaves their mother dead and their father very much devastated and basically impacts their entire lives. Then we're at the present and Charlotte is now an adult woman, and there is another crime happening at the small town where they lived and where their horrific backstory happens. And she has to go back to there, and then there's just much more to it, which I don't want to say because I feel like this book is best experienced if you don't know too much. So as I said, it's a pretty horrific thriller. There are some very intense events that are happening and they're very graphically detailed. Personally, I don't really mind that much. I actually enjoy it in a book, which sounds weird. I don't mean that I enjoy graphic violence. I hope you understand what I mean. I don't really mind it. I think it can make a very good thriller, but again, beware if that's something you're not very comfortable with, because these books, just any book by Karen Slaughter, can be very intense. The Good Daughter is one of my favorite books by Karen Slaughter, and that is why this one made the recommendation list. Another one that is also very good is, what was it called? Pretty Girls. That one is also really enjoyable, but why I like to read thrillers during the summer, I don't know. I guess it's also an association from when I was a teenager, when I often would read thrillers during my summer vacation. I don't know, I feel like crime and mysteries and disappearances and murder just really fit with my summer reading moods. And in any case, The Good Daughter and most books by Karen Slaughter really fill that description perfectly. And I just love the thrill and the excitement and being on the edge of your seat and rooting for certain characters and being afraid for other characters. It's just that atmosphere and the tension that I really enjoy, especially during the summer. And The Good Daughter, it's a very good one. It is time to bring out a classic from my booktube channel, and that is My Sister Rosa by Justine Larvallis-Che. If you have been here since the good old days, I've talked about this book a lot, so you probably already know it, but I will talk about it anyway. My Sister Rosa is also a bit thriller-ish. It's about a 16-year-old boy named Che. He has a younger sister called Rosa, and Che suspects that Rosa is probably a psychopath. Because Rosa enjoys hurting people. She enjoys manipulating people. She enjoys causing chaos and drama. However, Rosa is also really good at pretending that she's not enjoying those things and that she's a very sweet little girl, except to Che. She's only truthful to Che. So Che sees it as his mission in life to protect Rosa from the world, but more importantly, to protect the world from Rosa. This book, wow, it is one of my all-time favorites. I love talking about it and I love rereading it. It has everything. It has the intrigue, it has the mystery, it has the element of we as a reader know that Rosa is not very, sweet as she seems. But then the rest of the environment or the other characters do not know that. So it's the feeling of excitement and anticipation and also being scared of what Rosa is going to do next. It is just all those feelings at once. And again, I think it's very fit for summer because it has those thrilling events and it has that suspense and things like that. And also basically I will grab any opportunity to talk about my sister Rosa because it is one of my favorite books. I feel like more people should read it and more people should talk about it. It is so interesting and so thrilling and everything that I love, and I just think it's a perfect read if you love thrillers, if you love books like this, and then especially during the summer. Then for my final book recommendation, I would like to talk about The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. This is the first book in a series about surprisingly 6 sisters. They are all adopted and they have this father whom they call Pa Salt. At the beginning of the series, their adoptive father dies and he leaves them all a clue to their heritage and where they come from. After that, every single book follows a single sister and her story and her discovery of her past. And every single book also has a historical fiction element in it about the past and how that is related to the current sister. This is the first book in the series, The Seven Sisters, but honestly I would recommend all of them. This is just the only one that I own a physical copy of. What I love about this series is 2 things. Firstly is that it's very easy to read, like it's just a lot of drama and a lot of cliche things, and it's just not like, I would never call them literary masterpieces, but they're very easy and cheesy and over the top, and that is something that I always enjoy to read during the summer. But then secondly, what also makes them really fun to read during the summer is that these books travel all over the world. Like the characters travel so much. For example, this book takes place in Brazil mostly, but also in Paris. Other destinations throughout the series are Thailand, Australia, Norway, Scotland, Greece, whatever. There are so many destinations and you see so many surroundings, and that just makes you want to travel. Now, of course, I'm not sure how much traveling is possible during this summer, but just the feeling of wanting to travel in general, I think, is very fitting for books to read during the summer. And these books do it so well. They describe all the places with so much love and so much excitement, and I want to go to every single place once I finish the book. And most of the destinations are also, warm and summery or sunny, whatever you want to call it. It's just so much fun. They are the ultimate beach books in my opinion, and yeah, I very much enjoyed reading them last year. There are 7 books in total. Unfortunately, Lucinda Riley has recently died, and there was supposed to be an 8th book, so that one will probably never be published. But the 7 books that are out there are fun and enjoyable, and yeah, if you want to have this easy beach read with like romance and history and things to it, read The Seven Sisters. You will enjoy yourself, and you'll also want to go to every single place that these sisters travel to. That was it for all my summer book recommendations. I really hope you like them, and then hopefully some of these books sound interesting to you. I personally think that all of these books are some must-read summer books, but of course, again, you do you, read whatever you want during the summer, but maybe these will give you some inspiration on what to pick up next. And also, I really hope you liked this video, that you enjoyed it, and if you did, maybe leave a thumbs up, a like, or comment, and let me know what your favorite summer book is, or a book that you would like to recommend to me. I would love to talk, and I would also really appreciate all the support, so thank you so much for that. And then hopefully I will see you again very soon in one of my next videos. Bye!